it breaks the ice between the countries. So you can study anywhere. You can study even at work. You can study at your home unless you have an access to the internet.
Okay.
If you have an internet access and a computer, so you can study anywhere. This is very, very important. Number two, it is flexible, which means that you can, as an e-learner, you can study online. At the same time, you can make discussions with other colleagues, share the information, share the knowledge between each other. You can ask the administration, you can ask the teachers, you can ask the...
So it involves more communication, you'll be able to have discussion.
That's why I'm saying it's flexible, so flexible than other types of education.
Indeed.
This is very important as well. And one of the most important aspects that can be considered as advantages of the international e-learning, that it is it lowers the cost of traveling, because sometimes if you want to get your doctorate degree or your higher degree, you need to travel to another country to get your certificate. No, right now it's very easy to get your certificate.
Mr. Samy, can I just interrupt for a moment? I would like to ask you where it is that you have your mobile phone, because you need to put it away.
Yeah, sure.
Because I have next to the mic and it will be...
I'm sorry about that.
Thank you very much. So yes, no, as we're talking about it, the important thing is you have it silent. Mr. Samy, as you were talking about e-learning, and you said that sometimes it could be reducing the cost of you traveling as well. But generally we get to see with e-learning, lots of the universities which have in the campus programs and e-learning programs, the e-learning programs are a little bit more expensive sometimes than the enrollment fees that you would pay for campus education. Though of course you're going to be skipping the cost of traveling to the university and living in the dorms if you are, or living at any possible place in order to go to that university. But generally e-learning is a little more expensive. Why is that?
I don't agree with this sentence completely. I mean, this is depending on a lot of things. The name of, or the brand of the university itself is one of the most major important aspects. Number two, it is regarding the field itself. So for example, if I'm trying to study MBA, for example, the MBA online, it is available and it can be produced by many universities all over the world. And at the same time, it is very important for those who need to work in a very unique position. So that's why it might be so expensive if you want to get it online, especially from universities
which are known.
So you're pretty much paying for convenience then? Paying for convenience, because I'm sure that many of the programs, if it becomes too free, that means everyone will be able to get it. I mean, because say I have 2 jobs or I want to go to do online classes. If I just do it online, I mean, some of the universities, whether it's the Western US, Canada, I mean, it's too free, everyone will be able to have the degree, then it'll be not as powerful it is. But knowledge is powerful, yes, but pretty much they're paying for more convenience. They don't have to drive there, then hear the lectures, take notes, then drive back, then study. They can just watch the entire clip, read the books, and then take whatever online lectures or anything like that. Then a lot of them, they just tell them to come to the test dates, to come somewhere, and they take the test.
Yes, this depending on the strategy itself that can be followed by the university itself or the institute. There are a lot of strategies, a lot of programs that can be available. So this is the variety. This is one of the most important advantages of the e-learning. You can study by your own pace. You can study by your own pace, which means that you can study by your own model of learning. So you can get whatever you want by e-learning. What I mean by that, you can study most of the program online, and then you will travel to get maybe the examinations or some exercises or activities. And this is one program. There are some other programs that are providing the whole course online. so you can study the whole course online, and you can get certificates. It can be sent to you from the other country, and that's it. Yeah. So this is very important. But when it comes to the disadvantages of the e-learning, which I called it before, it should be something that we need to develop.
Yes.
Yeah. Number one, it is important for the countries to work on technology, to work on the internet connection speed. Yeah, this is very important, by the way, because the process of downloading the lectures and the curriculum, or even attending the programs, if the internet connection is slow, this process will be horrible.
Yeah, it is, because people will instead of taking a 1 hour lecture just to watch it, we're taking 3-4 hours, so it defeats the purpose of doing it in your time.
This number one. Number two, for those students that are having bad habits in study, or the lazy students,
not self-motivated.
Yeah.
Come on. Because I'm sure it's like one of the big issues. A lot of people say, I said, don't have time to go to school or study. I said, just take e-learning, online classes. They said, no. Some of the courses, I need someone to repeat it to me or to inform me, because if I just read, I will not understand it.
Yes.
Someone needs to have to explain. Is this one of the negative side of e-learning?
Mm-hmm. Maybe this is the negative side of e-learning, but this can be controlled by the program that you will sign in.
Okay.
Because the flexibility of e-learning can provide you with more than one style of learning. Actually, this is very important to mention that we need to change the culture of e-learning, not actually in our Arab states, not only in the Arab states, because the culture all over the world needs to be magnified. Because our idea about e-learning right now is some kind of not correct, which means that we need to develop it. For example, the role of the teacher himself, it needs to be developed. I mean, our thinking about the teacher or the instructor should be changed, because in the past, the teacher's role was that he should be the first and the last way of getting knowledge.
Okay.
Yeah, which means that it will be completely wrong if we go with this culture into our e-learning.
So the old thinking was like the teacher was only type of information, or
just typical information, just providing the information to the students. That's it. No, the role of the student, for the teacher and in e-learning, it should be a mix between maybe instructor, leader, maybe project manager, research project manager. He should be a criticizer sometimes. He should be available. I mean, the culture of being a classic teacher should be completely changed. And at the same time, we need to change the culture of the student himself. So the culture needs to develop his research abilities and
so it's important for the students' culture has to be related with the type of technology they use, or how the information is given to them.
Actually, the students are technologized enough, much more than my generation, for example. But they are technologized enough. We just need to go with them and their technology. Sometimes I used to get my information about technology from my colleagues, So, but most of the technology information I get from my students. That's why I'm saying they are technologized enough. We just need to go with them, go with their cultures, because they are changing. They are changing in mentality. We need to change our mentality as well. We need to go through e-learning by simple steps. Like, for example, using tablets, for example, and the schools, in elementary and secondary schools, it should be provided. It's very important. And I think the Saudi government had been go through this process, but we need to develop more.
Okay.
Indeed. Now, Mr. Samy, when we talk about e-learning, and you have mentioned some of the ways.
Yes.
Now, still, when we talk about e-learning, most of the times what comes to our mind is distance learning programs.
Yeah.
Now, as we're talking about distance learning programs, how important is it for students to be able to know and to be aware of the institutions that they could possibly be getting degrees from? Yes. Because there are a lot of the people who spend time and who spend effort and money getting degrees from universities which may never even be recognized in Saudi Arabia. How important is that?
This is very important because it is not only a matter of learning. Maybe I will spend some money, and after getting the program, I realized that the certificate is not accredited or the university is not recognized. So it's very important to do a couple of things. Number two, we need to search on the program that we need to get and study. Number two, we need to, once we get the university name or the institute name, we need to go to specific websites. There are actually so many different websites all over the internet that can provide us with the names of fake institutes online.
Okay. Degree mills.
Yeah, exactly. This is a very important website. So there are a lot of websites that can be provided by many other companies. It's very important to go through this website or any other website that can mention the names of the fake institutes.
So you have to be careful because, you know...
We need to be very careful about that, and at the same time, we need to be very careful of paying online.
Okay.
Yeah, we need to be very careful of paying online or giving the credit card information, for example.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's very important.
And Mr. Samy, like a lot of people, whether it's company recruiters, for people that have a lot of the entrance requirements to the entry level, they need the bachelor's degree. And some of them, they say, it's like, we don't want online learning, we want someone that actually went to university.
Yeah.
Is this mentality going to be changing soon, or are they going to be still weighing the one that went to university, like actually went to classes, lectures and everything, more than the person that went to e-learning?
Yeah. When it comes to this, actually, when we search for a university, we need to put in mind that this is not the only university in the world.
Yeah.
This is not the only university in the web, for example. We need to, I'll provide you with a tiny experience of mine. It's very, very important to get the whole information about the university, the accreditation of the university, the certificates that can be provided by the university or the institute, for example. We need to make sure that it is accredited. We need to make sure that it is providing the correct certificates. We need to ask about this university or an institute from actually the government itself can provide such services.
Indeed. And Mr. Samy, at the moment we're taking a short report for Facebook, Twitter, and email. So let us know, dear viewers, what you think about e-learning. If you personally tried it, you got a degree, bachelor's degree, let us know your experience, what kind of career opportunities they open for you. And at the moment we'll be joining Mr. Samy right after this short report. Stay tuned.
Okay.
Welcome back once again. You're still tuned to the Saudi Morning Show. So just over that short break, we were taking a look at our email address, Facebook account, and Twitter, through which you can get in touch with the Saudi Morning Show to let us know how it is that you find the program and to give us any of your valuable suggestions and feedback as well. As we are a program that goes daily live on air from Sunday to Thursday, we are always striving to know as to how it is that you are receiving it. This program, from our intention, is meant for each and every member of the family, and this is the reason that we have so many different areas of discussion from a Sunday to a Thursday on a typical week. But nonetheless, we want to know as to which are the subjects that interest you the most, and also that we understand the part that it's mostly the females at home who are watching us, because the children get off to school and lots of the men, they have their jobs, so it's basically the women. So we try to have more of the subjects incorporated into the program that would be able to help and guide the women and would be able to keep them informed as well. Subjects which are pertaining to the children, to their families, to home and living, and many of those things, and as well as our segment, which is every Thursday, which is all about women in the kitchen. Well, of course, some men can try the recipes too, but it is all just so that you would have something which is going to be part of your life coming to you from the Saudi Morning Show. If there are any ways through which we can inspire you, if there are any ways through which we can support you, let us know through our emails. And if there are any of the questions that you have from our guests, you could always send them to us even after we finish the program. And as well, if there are any particular subjects that you would like for us to discuss here in the Saudi Morning Show, you could send all those suggestions to us as well. Or if you think that you would like to come and join us as a guest in the program and that you would be able to add value to the program, then write to us about it as well.
Yes, and like you mentioned, Samy, something that like a lot of the viewers are home, they're a woman, you know what I mean? And we're discussing something e-learning, and a lot of them, they say they don't have the time because they have children, they have many they're preoccupied. This is a good example, like the discussion we're having with Mr. Samy, to try e-online, you know, e-learning. It's an opportunity that they can take, whether they have 1 hour, 2 hours a day, and something that they can educate themselves to get more knowledge, more education, you know what I mean? Because I'm sure knowledge is never too late, or is never too little. You're always willing to learn more and more and more. So if some of the, say for example, some of the ladies at home, they wanna know, decide which online courses or which online university can they go to. Is there a specific criteria or like a rule of thumb they should follow?
Sure. First of all, the student should look inside himself first. He should look for what he really needs.
Okay.
And put it in front of him always. And then try to search about the online universities that can provide them with this degree, or can provide them with this knowledge. I'll talk in general speaking.
Okay.
Can provide them with this knowledge. And after that, he will, actually the universities at this time are providing a very good services regarding, actually when you just sign in, and just when you just sign in and online, you will receive a call. For sure, some universities are fake or not accredited, but some of them, or the others, are not. So we need to, right now, we need to compare between these universities or institutes. You will get, first of all, you will get all the offers available. You will get all the information or the knowledge that he needs to provide you with over the phone, and then ask him to provide you with an email containing all the information that he gave you.
Okay.
This is very important for documentation.
Okay.
Because documentation in this case is very important, because sometimes universities are changing their words or changing their offers afterwards. So you need to get all the documents in front of you all the time. So ask for the documents first over the email. Yeah, so once you get offers from online universities, you will get more than 20, for example, 20 offers are offering the same program that you need. And then try to compare between them. Try to compare according to the accreditation, according to the fees, according to the brand of the university itself, and any other aspects that can be calm in your mind. So this is very important. And again, don't provide your credit card information online.
Okay, this is very good rule of thumb, because I'm sure that right now online anything can have access to anything. And people can make anything look authentic. And a lot of people do not have the expertise to determine whether it's not.
Exactly.
And I'm sure that you came across many of the online courses or online universities that you never heard of, and then, but oh my God, it's going to be something good. Someone recommended it, but then at the end, is when someone goes out for a job, and we say, no, we never heard of this. They research it, and it's not really official.
Yes.
So I'm sure this is one of the most common ones that they face.
Yeah, and by this way, you will find out the best university that can provide you with the information that you need.
Indeed. Yeah. And one more thing is, like, because I mentioned earlier that that many of the people say that they're not self-taught.
Yeah.
Self-taught. You mentioned that a lot of the reviewers, because this is one of the biggest fear that I've faced. Like with many people, they say, I'm not self-taught. I need someone to explain to me. This is a complete opposite. A lot of the e-learning nowadays, they have the lectures online. So when they go step by step, whether it's math, like this is the common ones people do not understand, they need someone to teach them. Math, they have like a overhead camera, and it shows them step by step how to do it. So whether it's math, whether it's science, whether history, or anything, this business, most common business degree, you can always learn something step by step with the videos. You don't have to go to the lectures or anything. So it's something that you can give your mind at ease, because I'm sure that many people say, no, I need to go to the courses or online.
Exactly.
Any advice or would you like to give on that?
Yeah, my only advice here is to change our culture about e-learning. It's very important. Our culture of e-learning should be changed regarding is it effective? My certificate will be considered in my job or in my company or my country. This actually is being changed here in the country or in the whole world. We need to change our culture here.
And usually, how many years is e-learning? Does it vary on the type of?
This is vary from one program to another, actually.
Say an average bachelor's degree, because this is the most common ones many companies require to get like a higher position or get a decent salary.
Yes.
How many years? Usually they say it's about 4 years, but it's separate.
Around 3 years. Actually, this is depending on the credit hours.
Okay.
Yeah, and just like what I said, it is a self-based program. So if you need to take the whole credit hours and for 3 years, that will be available. If you want to get it in 4 years, that will be available too. So this is very flexible, and you can provide this information to the institute to go through the process.
Indeed.
Certainly. And Mr. Samy, as we're talking about e-learning, we mentioned earlier that you need to be checking a lot of the details about the university, its authenticity. So that's where the big names come in, because they would really be able to cash in their good reputation a lot of the times, because people would not be too worried about paying to those universities as well as taking courses from them, because they know that their name is known and that it would be valuable to get educated from there. But when we talk about students as well in general, what are some of the subjects that you would say that are the best to be taken when people are doing e-learning programs? Because we do get to see a lot of the people who have their MBAs through the e-learning degree programs as well.
Yeah. My advice for those who needs to get online learning or e-learning, actually the practical programs are hard to get it online. For example, chemistry. It's hard for those who are learning chemistry to learn it online or to get it online.
So you need a chemistry lab for that.
It should be chemistry lab, and the instructor should be in front of you, providing with, it will be hard online or virtual. But the e-learning programs are very, very effective in business, for example, and education, and any other programs that cannot be based on the practical things. For example, medicine. It's very hard to get a degree online. Yeah, that's why there is no institute actually providing these degrees online.
Yeah, like you mentioned, like many of the subjects or or like degrees, they don't offer it because something that's very too complicated and too in depth. Because when you do something, say whether it's anything that has to do with medicine or science, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Because people will just maybe they learn it the wrong way, and then when they go practice, it'll be something else. Because medicine, they don't have it online at all. I'm talking about something whether it's in the science.
And when it comes to, for example, managing or the management of hospitals, this degree is available online. Yeah.
But a lot of them, you know, I'm sure, like they say, it's like the degree, it's only half of it. You also need the experience. And some of the universities, they offer an experience, say like hotel management or anything like that. Like within the 4 years they get their degrees, they go to hotels. They get the experience. They go different departments. They understand from the people with many experience.
And this varies from one institute or university to another.
Do the online institutes they offer this or no?
Yeah, it offers this. Some of them offers this.
Okay.
Yeah. It's very flexible, you know what I mean? It's very, very flexible. If you're looking for a certain program, you can find it actually in a certain institute. That's why I'm saying it's very flexible and matching what you need exactly. This difference between the classic learning and e-learning.
In 5 years, how do you see, Mr. Samy, the way of e-learning? Do you see it's going to be more and more common that almost every university is going to be offering to the people? Because I'm sure like whether in the United States or Canada, Australia, UK, going to universities is becoming more expensive. Some of them are opting out and doing distant learning because it's cheaper and they don't have the time to go. Within 5 years, do you think it's going to be more and more common?
I think so. I think in the next 5 years, or the next few years, the online learning that will be very, very common between the universities, because it is very, very beneficial in the financial way.
Indeed. And I believe that one of the brightest ideas would be for a person to still be on a job and to be earning a steady income while still being able to pay for themselves through an e-learning program and by continuous education process, which is really, really remarkable. And with this, Mr. Samy, we'd like to thank you so much for joining us in today's edition of the program. Are there any last words of advice that you would like to give to especially the students, some of them who are having mixed emotions about e-learning programs?
Thank you so much for that. Actually, I appreciate being here first. I just need to mention one advice for those who
Please, go ahead.
Thank you. I just need to provide them with a small fine advice. Learning is not a process that can be stopped. That's it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Samy. It was a good advice because I'm sure like many of the people, they kind of got delayed in it. It's never too late to continue education. So thank you so much for Mr. Samy for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you.
For that was Mr. Samy Elfadaly, who is an international education expert, and we're discussing about the role of instructor in the internet world and the remote education. Education is something that you're always willing to learn more. There's always new information. Whether you have your master's, you can always get your PhD. Whether you have your bachelor's, you can get your master's. And I'm sure that everyone's life is always hectic. They're always busy, they're always stressed, they have family, they don't have time to go to universities. The idea of e-learning gives you the opportunity of continue what you really want, what you're passionate about, and to pretty much have that self-contempt about what you accomplished in life. So e-learning is something that many of the viewers can take in consideration to continue education. Coming up next, our next guest will be discussing about sport and build personality, and we'll be taking a short report and be joining the guest after that. Stay tuned.
The days of students carrying their notebooks and textbooks to school in a backpack may soon be gone. At some schools in America, all a student's materials are now contained on a single tablet computer.
The big thing right now is sort of developing schools that are called one-to-one classrooms, and that is where every child has a tablet, mostly tablets. I would say for maybe 10 years ago we were talking about every child having a laptop, but now almost all schools are moving towards this sort of one-to-one concept, so that every child has a tablet computer, iPad or some sort of Surface, some sort of tool that they're using, and that the children have that with them instead of their textbook, instead of even their notebooks. So everything's sort of in this thing, in the tablet. Classroom teachers also for the most part, will have either a large screen TV or a smart board of some sort. So whether it's a Promethean board or the smart board technology, where they can sort of demonstrate for children what's on their tablet, but also sort of to have an interactive sort of space.
Sarah Irvine Belson is Dean of the School of Education at American University here in Washington. She says schools are increasingly having students learn new lessons at home on their computers. When they come to school, they are ready to use what they have learned.
If you've heard of Khan Academy and these sort of tools that are out there where children are actually doing some learning outside the classroom. So the flipped classroom, the idea behind the flipped classroom is the instruction happens at home on the computer, and then when the kids come to school, they're actually applying the knowledge and working on projects. And so that's where a lot of the energy is about this whole idea of the flipped classroom.
Julie Sarah Boyd is a director of teacher training. She says technology allows students to learn at their own pace.
Blended learning sort of flips the classroom. The students start with individualized instruction, typically with technology. They do that at home. They have the lessons. They do their lessons at their individualized rate, and then they go in the classroom. And
these are interactive programs which teach them at their own rate.
Exactly, they're interactive programs, and there's a lot of companies that do it. It's pretty competitive now to find the best programs.
But using lots of technology can have its drawbacks. Earlier generations of students had no alternative but to learn math and spelling. Today, computers can take care of those tasks.
There's also a challenge with technologies in terms of children, overusing a grammar checker, right? I mean, you and I, when we type, we probably rely on the spell checker, right? Are children really developing those skills to write better and write like educated adults? And I think that's one of the challenges that is coming, especially in this generation that's now graduating from high school and starting college, is that the writing skills are not strong.
Schools in America spend a lot of money on technology, but Sarah Irvine Belson says sometimes they forget the most important thing: training teachers how to use technology to improve education.
So I think one of the things that's the investments that schools are making, and I think where schools continue to see themselves investing, is not so much in the infrastructure. Certainly, that's always needing to be upgraded, but it's also the teacher professional development. Is that how are teachers using this technology? How are they making sense of it? How are we communicating with parents about what the best use of technology is? Should you create time limits for children using it at home? I think that's really where the investment needs to continue.
Another issue is the digital divide. Even here in America, there are schools in affluent neighborhoods where all students have a tablet and a computer, while students in poorer sections have none. Educators say one of the biggest benefits from technology is in blended learning, where students all attend the same classroom lesson together and then go on to learn individually at their own pace from an interactive computer program. Educators say one of the biggest mistakes is buying technology without adequately training teachers on how to use it, resulting in expensive devices gathering dust in the back of the classroom. For Saudi Good Morning, this is Burton Bolag in Washington.
Welcome back once again, and as you are tuned to today's edition of the Saudi Morning Show, well, we were having our segment which was all upon the lines of e-learning. We get to see that a lot of the people are resorting to e-learning nowadays because of how it is so very, very efficient. And well, following this discussion, we are going to be having a very interesting other discussion which is going to be all upon the lines of sports psychology, and we're going to be having our expert who is going to be telling us more about it. But in between of the two discussions, we've had this very interesting report by Mr. Porton Bolek from one of the very, very beautiful parts of the world, which is Washington, D.C. A lot of the nature that you would get to come across when you start to drive a little past the main D.C. area and to move on towards Virginia or Maryland. It's really, really beautiful. And a lot of the people who are living there would always say that it is really, really one of the most peaceful and beautiful places to live in as well. But at the same time, we get to see that human beings, they adapt to things so very, very differently. And what somebody would like in one part of the world, the other person living in another part of the world would not be able to accept it. There are so many of the people who would be willing to give anything to have a view like this when they wake up early in the morning, to see it through their windows. There are lots of the people who would like to see a busy cityscape around them.
Yeah, many people, like they say, was like the people live in New York. A lot of them, the majority of them, they absolutely love it in the big city. They love the big city feeling. And some of them, if they grew up whether in the farm or whether somewhere in the suburbs, this is where they feel at home. This is their comfort zone. Like you mentioned, somewhere like outdoors. This is me personally. Like a lot of the people, they absolutely love it. You know, something outdoor. You can have a picnic. You can be peaceful. But you know, if you take someone that has severe allergies,